Over the past 7 years, Dortmund has generated more than €400 million in profit from its 6 most expensive departures. These players were initially acquired at relatively low prices, reflecting Dortmund's strategic approach, purchasing young talent at a bargain, developing them, and later selling them for substantial profits. This strategy is commonly employed by clubs in less competitive leagues, such as Benfica and Ajax. These players often view Dortmund as a stepping stone, where they can secure regular playing time in both the Bundesliga and the Champions League, showcasing their talents to Europe's top clubs in attraction for higher paychecks. However, not all expensive transfers lead to high performances, as we'll explore in this video by examining the careers of the top 6 costly departures after leaving Dortmund. Let's begin with the Norwegian striker who left Dortmund to join the Blues. Erling Haaland's talent was evident from the start, as he rapidly progressed through various clubs before Dortmund signed him for €20 million. Initially, he was set to stay with the club until June 2024, but after just 2.5 years, his €60 million release clause was activated, and he joined Manchester City on a 5-year deal, earning Dortmund a €40 million profit. His time at the Etihad, he has had a dream season, breaking numerous records in his debut season. Joining City elevated his game as he became part of an elite team, alongside players like Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne, who were perfect partners for a goal machine like him, especially with his exceptional positioning in the final third for clinical finishes. Scoring a brace in his Premier League debut against West Ham United, along with this incredible goal against his former club in the UCL group stages, made it clear that the 24-year-old striker was here to make his mark. His scoring prowess helped Manchester City secure a historic European treble, including their first-ever Champions League title. However, Haaland struggled to replicate his previous form in the following season, as he wasn't as dominant due to several factors. Initially, he had the element of surprise, catching league defenders off guard who weren't yet accustomed to his style of play. He also suffered an injury that sidelined him for 5 league games, and the absence of Kevin De Bruyne for more than half the season due to injury further impacted his performance. It's worth noting that nearly half of De Bruyne's assists in the 2022-23 season resulted in goals by Haaland. Despite not being as dominant as in his first season, Haaland still managed to perform, scoring 27 league goals, 9 fewer than the previous season. Nonetheless, his career shows no signs of decline, and he remains one of the most successful departures from Borussia Dortmund, as we will see later with other players. Next is the player who made Dortmund €50 million richer after being sold to Arsenal for €63 million. Aubameyang had his breakthrough season in 2013-14 while playing for Saint-Étienne, scoring 19 league goals, second only to Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and playing a key role in winning the Coupe de la Ligue, ending the club's 3-decade trophy drought. His scoring ability, coupled with his potential for further development at just 24 years old, made him an ideal fit for Jurgen Klopp's management at Dortmund. His versatility in the final third, and the fact that Dortmund was prepared to lose Lewandowski for free at the end of his contract, prompted the club to sign Aubameyang as a replacement. While at Dortmund, Aubameyang's career reached new heights, but he felt he deserved more. A series of disciplinary issues eventually led Dortmund to reach an agreement with Arsenal, who were in desperate need of a striker after selling Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United. Upon joining Arsenal, Aubameyang didn't realize that his career had already peaked at Dortmund. Don't get me wrong here. He still achieved some success, even sharing the Golden Boot with Mohamed Salah in the 2018-19 season, and scored the same number of goals the following season, playing a pivotal role in the club's FA Cup victory by netting 2 goals in both the semi-final and final. However, this wasn't enough to replicate his form at Dortmund. In 2020, his performance started to decline, marked by inconsistency. Along with this, his disciplinary issues escalated. For instance, he arrived late for the London derby and was subsequently removed from the starting lineup, adding strain to his relationship with Mikel Arteta. After multiple breaches, including returning late from a trip, Arteta eventually stripped him of the captaincy and dropped him from the squad. This fallout led to his departure, joining Barcelona on a free transfer. However, little did he know that he was about to relive a familiar nightmare. You see, between 2008 and 2012, Aubameyang was sent out on a series of loan transfers, playing for a different club each season. History seems to be repeating itself, as he has moved through 3 different clubs in a short span, and who knows if he has finally settled. Christian Pulisic joined Dortmund's academy in 2015 and was promoted to the senior team just a year later at the age of 16. His impressive performances in both the Bundesliga and the Champions League quickly drew attention from European clubs, with Chelsea being particularly interested as they prepared for life after Eden Hazard, who was linked to a move to Real Madrid. Pulisic had a solid start at Chelsea, making significant contributions in key matches, such as the 2020 FA Cup final, where he scored Chelsea's only goal, though he was later substituted due to injury in a match they eventually lost 2-1. The following season, he played a crucial role in Chelsea's Champions League campaign, particularly in the semi-finals against Real Madrid, a tournament they ultimately won. Pulisic's time at Chelsea was marred by frequent injuries, which disrupted his rhythm and limited his availability. He struggled to maintain consistent form due to recurring hamstring issues and other injuries. Even when fit, Pulisic often struggled with consistency and with competitions for playing spots among other Chelsea players, Mason Mount and Hakim Ziyech. His impact on the pitch gradually reduced as he struggled to find the net in the followed seasons. With all the above challenges and Chelsea's squad overhaul, Pulisic was eventually sold to AC Milan for €20 million, where he is currently having a better form and more playing time than in his later stages at Chelsea. Since he is still only 25 years of age, his career is showing a more promising trend, and much can still be expected from him in the future. Jadon Sancho fit perfectly into Dortmund's strategy of identifying young talent, nurturing them, and then selling them at a profit. Dortmund signed him from Manchester City's academy for €20 million, a move that also benefited Sancho as he was guaranteed more playing time and the opportunity to develop in top-tier football. As per Dortmund's usual approach, Sancho was sold 4 seasons later in the summer of 2021 to Manchester United for €85 million. Sancho was eager to play in the Premier League, partly because he felt a lack of acceptance in the national team and believed that playing in England would secure him a spot in Gareth Southgate's squad. However, Sancho's performance at United fell short of fans' expectations, even in his first season, as he didn't score until November. Despite his struggles, Sancho had moments of brilliance, especially in the second half of the 2021-22 season, where he showed glimpses of the form that made him a star at Dortmund. He scored crucial goals, including one against Manchester City in the Premier League, and contributed to Manchester United's 2022-23 Carabao Cup victory, helping the club secure its first trophy in several years. Nevertheless, Sancho struggled with consistency at United, often failing to perform regularly. His struggles were sometimes attributed to mental and physical issues, which led to him taking time off to address these challenges. Competition from other players like Marcus Rashford, Antony, and Bruno Fernandes made it difficult for him to secure a regular starting spot, especially when his form dipped. In September 2023, Sancho had a fallout with manager Erik ten Hag after being dropped from the matchday squad against Arsenal due to poor training performances. Sancho didn't take this lightly, which resulted in his suspension and eventually led to a loan move back to Dortmund. There, he had a strong season, reaching the UCL final, though they lost to Real Madrid. As of the 2024-25 season, Sancho has returned to United, and since the Englishman is still young, it's too early to say his career is nearly over. There's still room for him to meet the high expectations placed on him. Next on the list is a wonder kid who has been making waves at Real Madrid in his debut season. At just 16, he became Birmingham City's youngest ever first-team player when he debuted in August 2019. Despite Birmingham's struggles, he stood out, displaying maturity, technical skill, and versatility, rare qualities in a teenager, which led Dortmund to sign him for €30 million. After 3 seasons of development and increased playing time at the highest level, his market value soared. Recognizing the opportunity, Dortmund cashed in, selling him to Real Madrid for a €70 million profit. His first season at the club has been nothing short of phenomenal, securing 3 trophies while also being the club's top scorer in the league. Bellingham quickly established himself as a key player in Real Madrid's midfield, impressing with his maturity, work rate, and ability to contribute both defensively and offensively. He formed strong partnerships with club veterans Toni Kroos and Luka Modric, and his versatility in multiple midfield roles made him a vital part of Ancelotti's tactical approach. Bellingham's understanding with Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo further strengthened Madrid's attacking options, and with Mbappe's arrival, this relationship is only expected to grow stronger. His first season at Madrid has been a resounding success, and he shows no signs of slowing down. fans and the club are eagerly anticipating even more from the youngster, who joins Holland as one of Dortmund's most successful high-stakes exits to date. And lastly, we have a transfer many regard as one of the most profitable in transfer history. Dortmund signed Ousmane Dembélé for 35 million euros and, after just one season, sold him for a staggering 100 million euro profit. At the time, Dortmund had lost influential players like Henrik Mkhitaryan and İlkay Gündoğan, and they believed signing the young talent would bolster their squad. However, after just one season, Barcelona, flush with cash from the Neymar transfer, approached Dortmund, seeing Dembélé as a potential replacement for the Brazilian forward. His pace, dribbling, creativity, and ability to play on both wings made him an attractive prospect. Eager to make the move, Dembélé even went on strike, refusing to train, which forced Dortmund to negotiate the deal. The transfer eventually went through, but Dembélé's time at Barcelona got off to a rocky start. His first season was plagued by injuries, sidelining him for much of the campaign. Despite his absence, Barcelona managed to secure both the La Liga title and the Copa del Rey. As he attempted to regain form in the following season, inconsistency due to further injuries continued to mar his performance, though he did score in some crucial matches. At this point, injuries had played a big part in the Frenchman's career. But what happened in his third season at the club was even worse, as he didn't have any significant impact on the club after appearing in only 9 games in all competitions due to injuries, and both the fans and the club couldn't believe that their 100+ million euros were nowhere to be seen. At this point, there were even rumors that Barcelona wanted to sell him. Dembélé's inconsistency persisted, with recurring hamstring injuries hampering his progress in the later seasons. He never fully lived up to the hefty price tag. In an unexpected twist, another club saw him as a potential Neymar replacement. After his move to Al Hilal, PSG triggered his release clause, signing Dembélé for 50 million euros. His first season at PSG has shown glimpses of promise, though he still struggles with consistency. However, he seems to have shaken off the injury curse that plagued him in recent years. It's still too early to say for certain, but what's clear is that he will get more playing time, and at 27, he still has a few years left to prove himself. Despite being Dortmund's most expensive departure, Dembélé has had one of the most disappointing post-Dortmund careers among the players we've reviewed.